How's it going, everyone? Since we've been doing the best zombie map of all time, single elimination tournament, as decided by you guys, everybody has been asking me for my best all-time list. So here's my top 5 zombie maps of all time. First, if you're interested in future COD and COD Zombies content, then drop a like and subscribe. I would appreciate it a lot. Okay, so as far as my method for determining the best zombie maps of all time, I came up with this criteria. I did my best to set aside my own personal nostalgia and attempted to view this as objectively as possible. 1 is overall experience. The best zombie maps set themselves apart because they have a great story, the pacing of the map is good, the characters in the story are also good. 2, the Easter egg. Is there something about the Easter egg that sets itself apart? How challenging is it? Can it be done solo? How extensive is it? If there's too many steps and too few steps, it's both detracting factors that need to be considered. 3 is replayability. What's the reason you would want to play this game again? Can you get a different ending if you get a different character? Can you take a different approach? 4 is game engine and movement. Some of these old maps don't withstand the test of time because their game engine was lacking or the movement system was clunky. Some of these great maps overcome some clunkiness in the game engine or movement system, while maps further down the list are severely limited by these factors. And 5, as I hinted at this in the last point, but number 5, has it withstood the test of time? Can you play it now, or is the experience too dated to where it makes the gameplay less enjoyable? Yes, this criteria alone rules out a lot of the old maps, but frankly, if we are determining the best map of all time, then there should be a minimal amount of limiting factors. So before we get into the top 5 of all time, I will give you some honorable mentions in no particular order. Buried. Buried was released in the Vengeance DLC for Black Ops 2. It features Misty, Marlton, Russman, and Samuel in an underground Old West ghost town map. The overall aesthetics of the map are great, and the fact that there was Richtofen's side and Max's side to the Easter egg mine games added an interesting layer of replayability. Other unique factors of this map were the ability to use chalk to draw your own wall weapons, as well as the presence of Arthur, a gentle giant who can be enticed to assist the characters if he is presented with booze or candy, with comical and often hit-or-miss results. While the map is great, I don't think it's in the top 5. Kino der Toten. Personally, this is my favorite map of all time. The setting of an abandoned theater in Germany still gets my nostalgia going all these years later. Weapons like the Thunder Gun, unlockable content, and high round attempts gave this map some level of replayability, but the lack of a story-based Easter egg and a more simplistic map are the reason this map does not make it to the top 5. So that takes us to our top 5. In 5th place, we have Shadows of Evil. Shadows of Evil was the first map released in Black Ops 3 and features a brand new set of characters and a brand new location in Morgue City. The addition of Beast Mode, which was similar to Afterlife Mode and Mob of the Dead, added a layer of complexity to achieving certain tasks. It also added 2 new elements, Gobblegum and a brand new perk, Widow's Wine. The addition of Gobblegum gave all of the Black Ops 3 maps a significant increase in replayability, as your experience was shaped by what Gobblegum you got early in map and which ones you were carrying. It also had some of the most unique wonder weapons in the zombie series. Apocalypse Averted was the Easter egg, and while it was fun and not too complicated, it is limited by the fact that you cannot complete the Easter egg solo. While I think the map is great, certain elements of the storytelling and lore were overly complicated and felt contrived, and are the reason it is not higher on the list. So that takes us to number 4. In number 4 we have Gorod Krovi. Gorod Krovi, which translates from Russian as City of Blood, was released as part of Black Ops 3 Descent Pack. It features the Primus team in Stalingrad in an alternate universe plagued by a fire-breathing dragon. The map is fantastic from an aesthetic standpoint, and the dragons serve multiple purposes. They block off certain areas of the map and can trap players, but in addition they also serve as mode of transport to other areas of the map. As far as Easter eggs go, I love and more Gorod Krovi's Easter egg. It was the perfect balance of complexity, in my opinion, results in one of the most fun boss fights in the series. So that takes us to number 3. In number 3 we have Der Eisendrache. Der Eisendrache, which translates from German as the Iron Dragon, takes place at Grithen Castle in Austria. This is one of the more aesthetically gripping maps, especially if you play on PC in high resolution and high frames. Sorry, console players. The map has 2 of my favorite wonder weapons, the Wrath of the Ancients, which can be upgraded to several elemental forms, and the Ragnarok DG4, which is based on the gravity spikes for multiplayer. In my personal opinion, the Easter egg was one of the more challenging to complete on the solo side, but was fun if you had the right team to party up with. So that takes us to number 2, and in number 2, I have Mob of the Dead. Now it seems like most lists have this map, and my next map is some sort of variation of 1 and 2 for different reasons. From my perspective, this map is nearly flawless, but it is held back slightly by the Black Ops 2 movement system and engine. Personally, I think this map is primed for a remake and hope it happens in the near future. Mob of the Dead was released on Black Ops 2 as part of the Uprising map pack. It features 4 actors who are beloved for their parts in mobster movies. They are Joe Pantoliano, Ray Liotta, Michael Madsen, and Chaz Palminteri. The Hell's Retriever and Redeemer and the Blundergat are fantastic wonder weapons and really add to the story. The addition of Golden Gate Bridge as a location you could visit was an interesting wrinkle as well. Spoiler alert for anyone who has not played this before, but the fact that the cycle could continue if the players killed Weasel at the end, or the cycle could be ended if Weasel killed the other players, added a really interesting replayability factor to the game. So that takes us to number 1 on the list, and in number 1 I have Origins. I can understand Mob of the Dead being number 1 or Origins being number 1, but in my opinion, the combination of map, storyline, Easter egg, map aesthetics push Origins to number 1. While it also is an unfair advantage, the fact that Origins was remade in Black Ops 3 on a new movement system with improved map graphics really sets this apart as well. Origins was originally released on Black Ops 2 as part of the Apocalypse downloadable pack and was remastered for Black Ops 3. A fractured part of this map was featured in Revelations as well. Origins has the Primus group in France during World War I. The map is a series of trenches, tunnels, and excavation sites that is patrolled by 3 large mechs. There's also a tank that players can use to access certain areas of the map, and the power is controlled by turning on several generators that come under attack at several junctures during the game. The Easter egg, Little Lost Girl, involves assembling and upgrading several elemental staffs, was balanced in my opinion when it came to overall complexity. So what do you guys think of my top 5? How does it compare to your top 5? Let me know in the comments. And as I mentioned before, if you are interested in future COD and COD Zombie content, then drop a like and subscribe. I would appreciate it a lot. Have a great day.